Hey everyone, Happy New Year and welcome back to my channel, The Reader Teacher. My name's Scott. As we're in a new year, this video is episode 1 and the start of series 3 of Coming Soon. It's January the 1st, so in this video I'll be previewing my most anticipated children's books releases coming out this month for January 2023. I'll be going through them in release date order and alphabetically by title, and if you just want to hear about a specific book, then make sure to use the timestamps in the description below. Don't forget to leave me a like, hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time I release a new video, and all the links to the books that I mention in this video will also be in the description box below. So let's take a look at the books. First up is Albi the Glowing Cowboy, written by the author of the best-selling Molly Moon series, Byng, out on the 5th of January. On a quiet farm in a frosty England, under the glowing light of a magical milk moon, a boy calf is born. His name is Albi, and he has no idea how extraordinary he's going to be. Several miles away lives a human boy called Rufus. Rufus is extraordinary in his own way, but he has no friends and no one to love him. Rufus seeks the family he never had, and he'll go to any lengths to find it. Albi and Rufus must each embark on a journey that will take them across continents, showing them things they never believed could be true. But why are they so deeply connected? And will each extraordinary boy find what they're searching for? With cover artwork by Levi Pinfold and interior illustrations by Cogo, it publishes to coincide with Veganuary and promises to be an epic, one-of-a-kind story, encouraging empathy and one that opens questioning minds. Thanks you, clan, for the finished copy. It's the night of the Mid-Autumn Festival in all four quarters of the moon by Shirley Marr, out on January the 5th. And making mooncakes with Marr was the last time Byng remembers her life being the same. Now adapting to their new life in Australia with a new home, new school and a new language, Byng thinks everything is going to turn out okay as long as they all have each other, but cracks are starting to appear in the family. 5-year-old Bijou, lovable but annoying, needs Byng to be the dependable big sister. Marr keeps forgetting who she is. Mama is no longer herself, and Baba must adjust to a new role as a hands-on dad. Byng has no idea how she's supposed to cope with the uncertainties of her own world while shouldering the burden of everyone else's. If her family are the 4 quarters of the mooncake, where does she even fit in? Big thanks, Husband, for sending me a finished copy. An alien chicken hell-bent on exterminating Earth is disarmed by the power of friendship in Bertie and the Alien Chicken by Pearson and Aleksei Bitskoff, out on the 5th of January. Bertie is less than thrilled about the prospect of spending the summer holidays on stinky Longbottom Farm. But when he meets Nugget and Alien Chicken, Bertie's summer takes an unexpected turn. Nugget's mission is to find the Earth's most important resource and transport it back to Nurgle 7, and he needs Bertie's help. But what could the Earth's most valuable resource be? And can they find it in time to stop the Nurgles exterminating the Earth? Thanks Barrington Stoke for the finished copy. Another one out on the 5th of January is Blackbeard's Treasure by Iszi Lawrence. The year is 1718, when pirate ships sail the oceans and brutal slave masters control the plantations. Packed with historical detail about the Atlantic slave trade, the ravages of empire, and human cost of providing luxuries like sugar, cotton and tobacco to Europe, this swashbuckling pirate adventure set in the 18th century, during the golden age of piracy in the Caribbean, tells the story of 11-year-old Abigail Buckler, who lives with her father. Her clothes are made of finest muslin, so she can't play in them. Not that there's anyone to play with anyway. She isn't even allowed to go out alone. But when pirates attack, Abigail's life will change forever. Suddenly, her old certainties about right and wrong, good and bad, start to unravel. But maybe Abigail doesn't have to be so ladylike after all. Thanks Bloomsbury for the finished copy. Also out on the 5th of January is the newest and next book in the House at the Edge of Magic series, The Bookshop at the Back of Beyond by Amy Sparks. 9 and her friends have cured the house's hiccups and are off to the strange and utterly unpredictable Back of Beyond in search of Professor Dish, Spoon's best friend and partner in all things alchemy. When they find Dish trapped by the greedy witch Ophidia in the basement of a particularly marvellous shop, it soon becomes clear they're going to need something more than Flabbergast's dicey magic and 9's quick thinking to triumph this time. What they really need is a rather clever witch, one particularly good at curses. Thanks Walker Books for the finished copy. Publishing this month to coincide with Holocaust Memorial Day on Friday the 27th of January is The Boy Who Didn't Want to Die by Peter Lantos, which is out on the 5th of January. It describes an extraordinary true story journey made by Peter, a boy of 5, through war-torn Europe in 1944 and 1945. Peter and his parents set out from a small Hungarian town, travelling through Austria and then Germany together. Along the way, unforgettable images of adventure flash one after another. Sleeping in a tent, and then under the sky, discovering a disused brick factory, catching butterflies in the meadows, and as Peter realises that this adventure is really a nightmare, watching bombs falling from the blue sky outside Vienna, and learning maths from his mother in Belsen. All this is drawn against a background of terror, starvation, infection, and inevitably death, before Peter and his mother can return home, because they do not give up, and they never stop trying to get home. Thanks Scholastic for the finished copy. Learn the funny and fascinating story of Charles Darwin and the groundbreaking discoveries his love of the humble worms led to in Darwin's Super Pooping Worm Spectacular by Polly Owen and Gwen Millward, out on the 5th of January. Widely known for his Origin of Species book, he also had another great love, and that was for worms. He always suspected worms were special, but his scientist friends laughed at him. In a quest to find out the worms' special talent, Darwin played the bassoon to the worms to see if they could hear, laid out a picnic treasure hunt for them to see how well they could smell, among many other bizarre but entirely true experiments. But Darwin didn't find anything extra special about worms, until one day he realised that worms do have a superpower. They poo! Without their life-sustaining, nutrient-rich poo, there would be no plants and no animals on Earth. His studying of worms is still essential to our understanding of worms today, and ever since, scientists have taken him very seriously, and never again laughed at his love of worms. Thanks Quarto for the finished copy. Misfits and murder meet in The Detention Detectives by Liz Jardine, the first in a new murder mystery school-based series out on the 5th of January, which introduces us to 3 unlikely friends, Jono, Lydia and Daniel, who come together to try to crack a case. Jono's recently swapped schools and thinks that moving to Hanbridge was all a big mistake, so puts zero effort into making friends. But finding a dead body at Hanbridge High has caused all this to change. The suspect list is long, and his 2 classmates also have their own reasons for wanting to get involved to solve it. But rather than turn them away, he might need all the help that he can get. Thanks Puffin for the finished copy. In A Different Kind of Freedom, a Romani story, Richard O'Neill introduces readers to a real-life hero of his, Rab Howell, the first professional Romani footballer, who played as a defender for England in the 1890s, winning 2 caps, as well as for Sheffield United, Liverpool and Preston North End at club level. Published as part of the Voices series and set in Sheffield, this football-filled story is told through the eyes of a young Romani child called Elijah, who loves his travelling life. But when he starts school, he discovers a hidden passion for football, and soon aspires to become a professional player. The only thing is, football is seen as a game for Gorja people, not Romani. When playing it, he feels like he's betraying his family. But what can he do when his desire for the sport is too much to deny? Thanks Scholastic for the finished copy. One of our favourite inventors is back with another adventure with the 3rd book in the series, Harley, Hitch and the Fossil Mystery by Vashti and George Ermos, out on the 5th of January. This term begins with a school trip to the coast where Harley stumbles upon a mysterious fossil. Could it be that Harley has discovered an entirely new dinosaur species? Meanwhile, eager to best her class nemesis, Fenelda, in the contest for best invention, Harley dreams big with her attempt to invent a time travel machine. It doesn't seem to work, but soon strange happenings all over Inventia make her question whether the time travel machine might work after all. But what to do about the huge dinosaur that has been spotted in Forgetown? Thanks Scholastic for sending me a very shiny finished copy. Out on the 5th of January is The Kindest Red, a story of hijab and friendship by Ibtihaj Muhammad, S.K. Ali and Hatem Ali, the highly anticipated sequel to The Proudest Blue. On photo day, Pfizer is excited to wear her family's red dress and matching hair ribbons. When Pfizer's teacher asks her class to imagine what kind of world they want to live in, she imagines a world where everyone is kind to one another and tries to create that world in the school playground. But what Pfizer wants most is to be like her big sister. However, when it's time for siblings pictures, Pfizer realises that she and her sister do not match like her classmates do with their siblings. But with the help of her classmates and Asia's hijab, Pfizer discovers that acts of kindness can be returned in unexpected ways. Next is Little Sure Shot by Matt Ralphs, which is an inspiring novel based on the incredible life of sharpshooting star Annie Oakley, who starred in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, out on the 5th of January. Annie's family work hard to survive on their Ohio farm. Annie's happiest when hunting game with her pa, and she doesn't care one bit that it's not the kind of thing girls are meant to do. When tragedy strikes, the family is thrown into deepest poverty, until one day Annie dares to pick up pa's old rifle and find a way to feed her starving family. As the family's fortunes worsen, Annie is sent away to work, and life becomes an ever greater struggle. Yet Annie has the courage and pluck to survive, and her brilliance with a rifle starts to gain her more than just turkeys for the pot. Can Annie's amazing skills take her all the way to fame and fortune? Thanks Anderson Press for the finished copy. In The Magic of Endings by Tom Avery, out on the 5th of January, we find out that 6 years ago, Jojo Locke's father vanished without a trace. Strangely, none of his family can seem to recall much about him, as if there's a void in their minds where his memory should be. But that changes when Aunt Pen, a genuine fairy with her magic and wishes, comes to visit and challenges Jojo's bravery. Testing him to see how deep his courage runs, she sends him on a quest to recover their memories of Dad, setting him off on a journey full of unexpected adventures and far beyond anything he could have imagined. Big thanks Anderson Press for the gorgeous finished copy. Ella Durand, who we meet in The Marvellers by Donielle Clayton, out on the 5th of January, is an 11-year-old conjurer and the first to attend the Arcanum Training Institute, a magical school in the clouds that serves marvellers from around the globe. Ella finds that being the first is not easy, but she finds friendship with fellow misfits Bridget, who hates magic, and Jason, who loves magical creatures. She also receives support from her Elixir's teacher, Master G. Thacker. However, when the notorious Ace of Anarchy escapes prison with the alleged aid of a conjurer, Ella soon becomes the prime suspect. To make matters worse, Master G. Thacker goes missing during a research trip. With the help of her friends and her own growing magical abilities, Ella must find a way to clear her family's name and locate her mentor before it's too late. Big thanks Piccadilly Press for the finished copy. This looks perfect for fans of Amari and the Night Brothers, like me. Also, out on the 5th of January is Monster Bogey by Anna Brooke and Owen Lindsay, in which main character Frank has a huge secret that he keeps hidden from everyone. He picks his nose, and even saves his bogies. But when a bolt of lightning strikes Frank's collection of greenies, it comes to life and transforms into a frightening bogey monster that escapes into the night. Frank, with the help of his best friend Tiffany and her 4 heroic slugs, must catch the creature before the villagers of Honkety find out about Frank and his reputation is ruined forever. Thanks Chicken House for sending me a finished copy. The Night Animals by Sarah Ann Jukes and Sharon King Chai, out on the 5th of January, follows Nora as she navigates the ups and downs of living with a parent who struggles with their mental health. Nora and her mother have always been a two-person team, relying on each other and not needing anyone else. However, when Nora starts seeing ghost animals again, like she did when she was younger, she becomes convinced that they hold the key to finding the help her mother needs. Along with her new friend Kwame, she embarks on a magical journey, following a group of shimmering, ghostly foxes, hares, ravens and otters as they guide her towards the strength she needs to support her family. This poignant tale of love, resilience and the importance of finding help when you need it most is one not to be missed. Big thanks Simon & Schuster for sending me a stunning finished copy. And did you know that octopuses have 3 hearts? Well, at the centre of The Octopus, Dadu and Me by Luciane Unwin, Salam Sanu and Lucy Mulligan, out on the 5th of January, is Sashi, a young girl who feels like she has 3 hearts herself. But they're all breaking in half as she struggles to cope with losing her beloved grandfather, or Dadu as he's affectionately known to her, to dementia. Even worse is that her parents don't want her to visit him anymore either. And desperate to find solace, she turns to the aquarium, where she meets Ian, who is also trapped and in need of help. As Sashi learns more about Ian and his situation, she realises that he should be at home with his family, just like her dad do, and she's the only one who can help him escape from the danger he's in. The only thing is that Ian happens to be an octopus. Thanks you, clan, for the finished copy. Follow the adventures of Martha and her younger brother Scruff in this reimagining of Peter Pan as they discover a magical world hidden within their ordinary townhouse in Saviour Neverland by Abby Elphinstone and Geraldine Rodriguez, out on the 5th of January. 10-year-old Martha Pennydrop is desperate to grow up and leave behind the world of make-believe and magic. However, when the siblings discover a drawer full of mysterious gold dust and an impossible-to-close window in their bedroom, they are swept away to Neverland, a magical world that was once visited by the previous occupants, the Darlings. There they meet Peter Pan, who needs their help to save Neverland from a terrible curse cast by Captain Hook. Despite being hesitant at first, Martha and Scruff agree to help and are welcomed into the company of the Lost Kids. As they embark on their journey, they face many challenges and must use all their wit, bravery and imagination to overcome them. Along the way, Martha rediscovers the magic and belief she has suppressed for so long and learns to embrace the power of her own imagination. However, when Scruff is kidnapped, she must now use all her strength and determination to rescue him and save Neverland itself. Will Martha and Scruff be able to defeat the curse and return home safely? Thanks Puffin for the gorgeous hardback finished copy. Told from the perspective of the natural world itself, Shine Like the Stars by Anna Wilson and Harry Woodgate, out on the 5th of January, begins by reminding us that we are all connected to the earth, such as to the clouds, sun and oceans. Emphasising the importance of our connections and that we grow and thrive just like seeds, it also makes us think about how it shapes and affects us in countless ways. Gorgeously illustrated, it celebrates the beauty and diversity of the earth, highlighting the stunning beauty of the stars in the night sky and the countless wonders that can be found in the world around us. Ending by encouraging readers to embrace their own unique talents and abilities, just as the stars shine brightly in the sky. This thought-provoking picture book feels like it gives you one last big hug before you close its pages. Huge thanks Anderson Press for the finished copy. A Tricky Kind of Magic by Nigel Baines, out on the 5th of January, is an action-packed graphic novel about finding magic when you need it most. Cooper is a talented young magician who inherited his love of magic from his father, the great Eduardo. Though Cooper is skilled at performing illusions and card tricks, he is unable to see his father again after he did the worst vanishing trick of all, when he died. So when a talking rabbit appears from his father's top hat and tells Cooper about a place where he might be able to see his dad again, Cooper jumps at the chance. Setting off, he realises he must use all his skills and determination to overcome the challenges that lie ahead. But what and who is waiting for him in the land where magic goes wrong? Thanks Hachette for the finished copy. Set in the Big Freeze 1963, Wild Oak by C.C. Harrington, out on the 5th of January, follows the story of Maggie, a young girl with a stutter who struggles to speak in school. Sent off to stay with her grandfather in the depths of Cornwall, she discovers an abandoned snow leopard hiding in the nearby woods, who was once an exotic pet from Harrods that proved too wild. Despite their differences, Maggie and the snow leopard, Rumpus, form a deep bond and work together to keep each other safe. But when Rumpus is spotted by others, danger soon follows. Can Maggie show the self-belief needed to save the cub and the ancient forest that surrounds them? Thanks Chicken House for the gorgeous finished copy. Get ready for a wild ride in There's a Beast in the Basement by Pamela Butchart and Thomas Flintham, out on the 12th of January, as Iszi and her friends set out on a 13th hilarious and unpredictable adventure in the Baby Aliens series. When they overhear their head teacher talking about missing treasure and running out of time, they know that something exciting must be afoot. Determined to find the treasure before Mr. Graves does, they set out on a mission to search the school for clues. After seeing things they will never forget, they head down to the basement. Scared, they send Zach's cat down with a camera strapped to her head and study the footage carefully. What they see is shocking and changes everything. It's not treasure in the basement, it's a beast, and it's coming to get them. Run! Will they make it out of the school alive? Philosophy is all about asking big questions and seeking answers to some of life's most profound mysteries. In What is Philosophy, out on the 12th of January, published by new publisher Noodle Juice as part of their Little Book Big Idea series, this book does exactly that, by inviting readers to explore the core questions that shape our understanding of the world and our place in it. From wondering about the meaning of life and what it means to be human, to contemplating the nature of happiness, love and truth, this book encourages children to think deeply and critically about some of the most fundamental ideas. Whether you're an aspiring philosopher or just curious about the world around you, this book and this series sound like the perfect introduction to the world and will inspire you to keep asking questions and seeking answers throughout your life. Publishing on Blue Monday, the 16th of January, Blue by Sarah Christou is a picture book that starts by sharing the secret of a little girl. It's a monster she calls Blue. But Blue doesn't have to be scary or hidden away. In fact, talking about our feelings can help us feel better. Filled with charming illustrations and a comforting message, this post-pandemic picture book is both a gentle guide and comforting companion for young readers who are navigating the ups and downs of big emotions or just need that reminder that they're not alone, as they learn that it's okay to feel sad, angry or scared, and that it's important to talk with the people we trust. Thanks Faber for the finished copy. In the third and latest adventure from the Leap Cycle series, The Circle Breakers by Patience Agbabi, out on the 19th of January, Elle and the Infinites face their greatest challenge yet, when one of their arch-enemies, the grandfather, asks for their help. Mysterious notes and anonymous threats have been plaguing the Vicious Circle, a time-jumping criminal gang, and the Infinites must now help uncover the culprit in order to protect their own identities. As they zigzag across time, from 2050 to the Victorian Great Railway Age, Elle and the team navigate a dizzying and disorientating adventure filled with secrets and challenges. This thrilling time-slip adventure is the third book in the series and builds upon events from the first two instalments. Therefore, it's going to be best enjoyed by readers who are already familiar with the character and storylines, but all will be captivated by the action and themes of diversity and inclusion. Fritz and Kurt by Jeremy Dronfield and David Ziggy Green, out on the 19th of January, is a true story that was first told in The Boy Who Followed His Father into Auschwitz. Tragic, shocking, but ultimately uplifting, it has now been rewritten for younger readers into this version. In 1938, the Nazis came to Vienna. They hated anyone who was different, especially Jewish people. Fritz and Kurt's family are Jewish, and that puts them in terrible danger. Fritz, along with his father, is taken to a Nazi prison camp, a terrible place full of fear. When his father is sent to a certain death, Fritz can't face losing his beloved papa. He chooses to go with him and fight for survival. Meanwhile, Kurt must go on a frightening journey, all alone, to seek safety on the far side of the world. Facing unimaginable hardships, the two brothers wonder if they will ever return home and see each other again. Thanks Puffin for the finished copy. Let's go on a life-size adventure in Life-Size Deadly Animals by Sophie Henn, out on the 19th of January. Step into the book and see how you size up against some of the world's most amazing deadly animals. As you explore the pages, you'll encounter a wide variety of deadly animals, each with its own unique characteristics and features. You'll see the massive jaws of the black caiman, the slithering body of the Burmese python, and the adorable but venomous slow loris. Along the way, you'll have the opportunity to learn about the habits and habitats of these animals, as well as the ways in which they have adapted to survive in the wild. This playful interactive non-fiction book provides the perfect introduction to animals, as it features full-sized illustrations of some of the world's smallest and largest deadly creatures, and invites children to think about how they compare with these amazing creatures. Big thanks Farshaw for the finished copy. Every Day is an Adventure in Selfies with Komodos, the newest poetry collection by Brian Moses and Ed Boxall, out on the 19th of January. From the Rescue Centre for Mythical Beasts to the Night Train to Transylvania, every page is bursting with wit, whimsy and wonder. With a cast of characters that includes cats, dogs, dragons and even a rock and roll iguana, follow along as the poet guides you on a journey through the universe, from the depths of space to the furthest reaches of the imagination. Along the way, you'll encounter all sorts of fantastical creatures and have the opportunity to learn new skills, like how to fly or send a postcard from Pluto. But be warned, this book is not for the faint of heart. There are many dangers to be found within its pages, such as selfie-snapping Komodo dragons, so buckle up and get ready for an adventure like no other in this brilliant collection from one of the UK's best-loved poets. From Claire Weise, the author of The Lightning Catcher, comes The Storm Swimmer, out on the 19th of January. Janika is not having the summer she hoped for. Stuck in a seaside town with her grandparents, she feels abandoned and heartbroken. That is until she meets Perry, a boy who leaps and dives through the water like a dolphin. Perry is not exactly a mermaid, but he is definitely something Janika has never seen before. As Janika shows Perry her world, she starts to feel free too. The two form a close bond and don't need anyone else. But when the outside world starts to change Perry, Janika must make a difficult decision to protect their friendship. Big thanks Bloomsbury for the finished copy. In Valentine Crow and Mr. Death by Jenny Spangler, out on the 19th of January, Valentine is a 12-year-old orphan who has spent his entire life at the Foundling Hospital. He's always been close with Philomena, his best friend, and the two of them are excited to leave the hospital and start their new lives as apprentices. However, Valentine's path takes a dark turn when he is chosen to serve Death himself. As an apprentice to the Grim Reaper, Valentine is responsible for guiding the souls of the deceased to the afterlife. And when Philomena's name appears on the list of souls to be taken, Valentine finds himself in an impossible situation. He can't bear the thought of losing his best friend, but as an apprentice to Death, it is his duty to guide her soul to the other side. Torn between his loyalty to Death and his love for Philomena, Valentine must find a way to save her before it's too late. As he grapples with the weight of his responsibilities and the power of fate, Valentine is forced to confront his own mortality and the true nature of friendship. Can he find a way to defy Death and save Philomena, or will he be powerless against the forces of the afterlife? Lastly, when Callie Tam is invited to attend the Wildstorm Theatre Camp for the summer in The Wildstorm Curse by Eve Wasaki Morris, out on the 19th of January, she's thrilled to have the opportunity to pursue her dream of becoming a playwright and to prove to herself that her dyslexia won't hold her back. But as soon as Callie arrives at camp, she realises that something sinister is happening. The final performance of the week will be a play written by a powerful 17th century witch, and strange and unsettling events begin to occur. As rehearsals progress and the performance draws near, Callie and her friends are thrown into a world of danger as an ancient and dangerous creature emerges from the nearby woods, seeking revenge and putting them in grave danger. With the help of her quick thinking and bravery, Callie must find a way to outsmart the monster and break the curse that hangs over the theatre. Can she overcome the witch's powerful magic and save the day, or will the ancient creature succeed in its quest for revenge? Thanks Hatem for the finished copy. So these are the books I'm most excited about reading this month. If you enjoyed watching, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel below. As always, keep reading, and I'll see you in the next video.